Law and business. Transactions. Obligations. This is part 4. Part 4 ba? Part 3? No, part 3 yata. I'm not sure. Joint and solidary obligations occur when there are several debtors or several creditors in one and same obligation. If there are several debtors or creditors in an obligation, it is always presumed that the obligation is joint. There is only a solidary obligation when it is stipulated by the parties, when the law declares solidarity, and when the nature of the obligation requires it. The code is SLN. SLN. Stipulated law nature. In the joint obligation, each of the debtors shall be liable only for his share of debt, and each of the creditor is entitled only for his share of credit. The rule is to each his own. In a solidary obligation, the co-debtors act, fault, misfortune, or benefit in the act, fault, misfortune, or benefit of all. In case of the obligation has not been performed because of the negligence or fault of the solidary debtor, the creditor can demand performance or payment of damages from one or some of all or all of them. The debtor who paid the amount of the obligation is entitled to reimburse from his co-debtors. However, if the non-performance of the obligation was due to the fault of one of the solidary debtors, his co-debtor who paid the obligation can demand reimbursement from him only. I promise to pay, signed by several persons, is a solidary obligation. Examples. A, B, and C are the debtors of X, Y, and Z. The amount of obligation is 90,000. X can only demand 10,000 from A because his share of the debt amounting to 30,000 shall be divided into 3 as there are 3 creditors. If A, B, and C are solidary debtors, X can demand 30,000 from A because X's share of 30,000 can collect from any of the debtors. If A, B, and C are solidary debtors, and X, Z are solidary creditors, X can demand payment of the whole 90,000 from A because it makes solidary obligations. Any of the creditors can demand payment of the whole obligation from any of the debtor. The documents which states I promise to pay the amount of 120,000 on July 12, 2006 was signed by X, Y, Z. Among themselves, they agreed to divide the debt at the rate of 20,000, 40,000, and 60,000 respectively. On July 12, 2006, Z was already insolvent. How much and from whom may P demand payment of the obligation? P may demand payment of the full amount of 120,000 from either X or Y, or from both of them. This is because Z is already insolvent. If X paid 120,000 to P, how much can demand as a reimbursement from Y? X can demand 80,000 from Y, 40,000 in his share of Y in the debt, and 40,000 in his share liability for the share of Z, because the law provides that the share of the insolvent debtor shall be borne by all his co-debtors in proportion to the debts of each. Here, the misfortune of Z is the misfortune of also X and Y. Divisible and indivisible obligation. Refer to the object or subject matter of the obligation. If the prestation is incapable of partial performance, it is divisible. Otherwise, the obligation is indivisible. To repair a car is a divisible obligation, while to deliver a car is an indivisible obligation. However, even if the object of the obligation is capable of partial performance, the obligation is indivisible if it is intended by the parties or provided by law. To deliver 50 kilos of yellowfin tuna to the residence of C on July 27, 2006 at 6 a.m. is an indivisible obligation, even though the object is physically divisible, because the intention of the parties is to deliver the same completely. Obligation with a penal clause. It is one with an accessory obligation whereby the debtor assumes the greater liability in case of non-performance of the principal obligation. Its purpose is to ensure performance of the obligation, to substitute as indemnity of damages or interest, and to penalize the debtor. If the penal clause is void, the principal obligation remains valid, but if the principal obligation is void, the penal clause is also void. D will pay his loan to C on August 3, 2006. The parties agreed that if D will fail to pay the loan on maturity date, D will sell his youngest child to C. The obligation to pay the loan remains valid, but the penal clause shall be disregarded because it is void. If D agrees to kidnap X in the consideration 50,000 to be paid by C, they also agree that if D will fail to perform his obligation, he will be the one to pay 50,000 to C. Both the principal obligation and the penalty in this case are void. The court may, however, reduce the penalty agreed by the parties if the obligation has been partly or irregularly complied with, or the penalty is unconscionable. Proof of actual damages is not necessary to enforce the penalty. Right. Extinguishment of obligation. Civil obligations are extinguished by payment of or performance, loss of the thing due, remission and condonation of debt, merger or confusion of rights, compensation, and novation. The other causes of the extinguishment of obligations are annulment, rescission, fulfillment of a resolutory condition, and prescription, payment or performance. Payment means not only the delivery of money but the performance in any manner of an obligation. How should the payment be made? Payment must be complete, however, even if the payment is not complete or irregular, it will be considered valid and complete if the creditor accepted it without protest. Who should pay? Payment may be made by the debtor, his heirs or assigns, his agent or person authorized by him, and any interested person such as guarantor or any third person. The heir shall assume the obligations of the debtor if the latter is already dead, but he cannot be compelled to pay more than the amount of inheritance. Payment by a third person is valid if the payment is accepted by the creditor, but the creditor cannot be compelled to accept payment from a third person who has no interest in the obligation. If the creditor accepted the payment from a third person, the payment is valid and the obligation is extinguished, but the payer is entitled to reimburse from the debtor. Payment by an incapacitated person is not valid and his payment may be recovered by his parent or guardian. Here, the payment is voidable. To whom should the payment be made? The payment may be made to creditor, his heirs or assigns, the creditor's agent, or any third person. Payment of the obligation to a third person is valid only if such payment redounded to the benefit of the creditor. Such benefit to the creditor need not be proved in the following cases: if after the payment the third person acquires the creditor's rights, if the creditor ratifies the payment to the third person, and if by the creditor's conduct the debtor has been led to believe that the third person has the authority to receive the payment. Payment to an incapacitated is valid only if he kept the thing paid or he is benefited by the payment. C bought the bicycle of M, 14-year-old boy, and he paid 3,000. M spent 100,500 for school materials, lost 900 pesos in gambling, and kept the balance of 600. The contract of sale was subsequently annulled. The guardian of M can recover the bicycle for C because the payment was made by M is not valid. The guardian of M should return the amount of 2,100 to C because this is the amount kept by and beneficial to M. Take note, the amount 900 did not ensure the benefit of M because it was lost in gambling. What should be paid in satisfaction of an obligation? Payment of an obligation should consist of a thing or service agreed upon because the creditor cannot be compelled to accept a different thing or a different service, even if it is more valuable. If the object is indeterminate and the quality of circumstances have not been stated, the purpose of the obligation and other circumstances shall be considered to determine the thing or service intended by the parties. Payment of monetary obligation shall be made in the currency stipulated. In the event that it is not possible to deliver such currency, then the debtor shall pay in the currency which is legal tender in the Philippines. The delivery of negotiable instruments shall produce the effects of payment only when they have been cashed or when through default of the creditor they have been impaired. Remember that the creditor cannot be compelled to accept checks, promissory notes, or bills of exchange in payment of the monetary obligation because these are not legal tender. Where should the payment be made? The payment be made at the place agreed upon by the parties. In the absence of agreement as regards to the place or of delivery, then the nature of the thing should be considered. If a thing to be delivered is a determinate thing, the place of payment is where the thing is at the time of constitution of the obligation. If it was to be delivered an indeterminate thing, the place of payment shall be in the debtor's domicile, which means that the creditor should go to the debtor's residence or domicile to collect payment. Special forms of payment. The special form of payment are dasyon in payment, payment by sasyon, application of payment, and tender of payment and consignation. Dasyon in payment is an alienation of property to the creditor to satisfy the debt in money. This is governed by law on sales. The obligation of D to C amounts to 10,000. On the maturity date, D has no money to pay the obligation and he offered to deliver his cell phone to C in payment of his monetary obligation. C accepted the payment offered by D and D's obligation